Collins Cambridge Lower Secondary English is a 3-level course designed for students at stages 7, 8 and 9. It comprises a student's book, workbook and teacher guide for each stage. The series provides full coverage of the 2020 curriculum framework. As you'll know, the Cambridge Lower Secondary course encourages learners to become confident communicators, building reading, writing and speaking and listening skills that they can apply across all their subjects at secondary school. It aims to help learners grow as successful readers who enjoy reading a range of texts for information and pleasure, and as successful writers who can use the written word clearly and creatively for different audiences and purposes. Finally, it helps learners to develop their speaking and listening skills so they can present and discuss ideas effectively and collaborate with others. These principles are very much at the heart of our Lower Secondary English series. In designing the series, we had 4 key aims. We wanted to link reading, writing, and speaking and listening together in a meaningful sequence within each chapter. We wanted students to be working towards something. We wanted to organise the content into clear lessons so that the resources were easy for teachers to use in the classroom. We wanted to wow learners with the rich range of texts, to inspire them to read more widely and to spark ideas for their own writing. Most importantly, we wanted to teach learners how to do things. We didn't just want to offer texts and tasks. We wanted to take learners step by step through processes with clear models and methods to follow. We believe this approach empowers all learners to make progress. So, how does this work in practice? Let's have a closer look inside the books. Each of chapters 1 to 6 in the student book focuses on one text purpose or pair of purposes. The chapter structure is the same in every student's book, so you can track the deepening of skills in, for example, narrating or describing across each stage. Within each chapter, learners first explore texts written for this purpose. They build their understanding of the conventions and hone their analytical skills by looking at a range of texts on a chosen theme. Then, learners begin to apply their understanding in their own writing and speaking for the same purpose. Both writing and speaking and listening skills are actively taught with examples and scaffolding, not just tasks. Finally, at the end of the chapter, we ask students to produce a piece of independent writing and to respond to a longer reading text with their own commentary. These final tasks give you an opportunity to assess the class if you wish. We've provided sample responses at different levels with annotations and commentaries to make this a formative learning experience. You can use these with the class to help students reflect on their work and how it could be improved. Finally, the last chapter of the students' books, Chapter 7, can be used to assess learners' progress across the whole stage. It brings together all the different skills they've learned and offers reading and writing tasks on 2 longer texts. Again, sample answers and guidance is provided for you to explore with the class, so this can be a learning experience. So what's changed in the framework? We've fully updated the 2nd edition of our series to support the 2020 curriculum framework. The changes we've made also respond to the feedback we've received from teachers. Perhaps the most significant change within the framework is the way that reading and writing skills have been linked together. Each learning objective in reading now corresponds directly to one in writing. Cambridge want learners to be applying the techniques and structures they've seen in their reading when they produce their own writing. And they want learners to be thinking as writers when they're analysing the choices that other authors have made. This vital connection between reading and writing was already built into the chapter structure of our books, but in the 2nd edition, we have strengthened our approach to reading, as this is something teachers told us they wanted to see. We've included a wider range of longer texts. These are designed to build learners' reading stamina across the stages. Each chapter now opens with an Enjoy Reading unit. Learners read a substantial text and are asked to share their personal responses to it. At the end of the chapter, learners usually return to this text and are asked to apply the analytical skills they've built in earlier units. But of course, it's not all about reading and writing. Speaking and listening has been brought centre stage in the new framework. Our series encourages you to show your learners how these skills underpin every lesson in English, whether you're exploring texts or planning and generating ideas for writing. And in each student's book chapter, speaking and listening skills are explicitly taught and applied in a longer task, whether that is presenting, taking part in a group discussion or debate, or a drama activity. Finally, just to mention 3 other framework changes. First, you'll notice in the new framework some changes to the purposes for which learners are asked to write. These now include advising, reviewing, and entertaining. We've therefore updated our chapters to include these purposes. Secondly, a few of the text forms and genres have moved around from stage to stage. You can see where we cover the different forms and genres in the curriculum framework coverage map at the back of each teacher's guide. Thirdly, the new framework puts more emphasis on literature. We've therefore expanded what was 1 chapter in each book in the first edition into 2 to give us more space to explore poetry and plays, as well as fiction and non-fiction. Each student's book is supported by a workbook. The workbooks offer a range of activities to consolidate and embed what has been taught in the student's book's units. The workbooks follow exactly the same chapter and unit structure, so you can easily set the pages for homework after a lesson. Each workbook chapter ends with a final writing task and series of final reading tasks, so learners will have an extra chance to practice and improve their work. The Teacher's Guide is designed to give you and your department all the support you might need as you introduce the new framework. It offers a ready-made lesson plan, worksheets and PowerPoint for each unit in the student's book. The lesson plans suggest how activities can be run in the classroom and help you to differentiate the activities for all your learners with extra support and extra challenge ideas. Learning objectives are listed at the top of each lesson plan, so the focus for learning is clear, while the chapter overviews at the start of the pack show you at a glance which objectives, texts and key terms will be taught. At the end of the guide, the curriculum coverage map shows you where each Cambridge learning objective has been covered, so you can rest assured that nothing has been missed. The Teacher's Guide also includes the answers to all the student's book and workbook questions. Everything in the Teacher's Guide can be downloaded by customers from our website to print and adapt as you wish. We very much hope you'll enjoy using the series to enrich your teaching of lower secondary English.